Welcome to another episode of SLTU Dialogue. I am Alice Medard. The St. Lucia Teachers Union Annual Women's Conference to commemorate International Women's Day will be held this year on Thursday, 7th March at the Finance Administrative Center in Point Seraphin, Castries. The theme for this year's conference is Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change. One teacher from every primary school, 2 teachers from each secondary school, and all principals are invited. Only members of the SLTU should attend this conference. The newly set SLTU Youth Group held its first meeting on Friday, 1st February at the Grand Riviere Secondary School. An interim committee was set up to plan and organize the activities of the group and help meet its objectives. Ms. Alice Medard will serve as the chair of this committee, while Ms. Alina John will serve as assistant chair. Ms. Chantal Glasgow will be membership director, and she will be assisted by Mr. Zenas Modeste. Ms. Natasha Dubois and Kezia Edward will take up the role of social officers. All young members of the SLTU who are interested in joining this group are kindly asked to email Ms. Chantal Glasgow at cglasgow@giss.edu.lc. The next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, February 27 from 4:30 p.m. at the SLTU office in Leclerc, Castries. All young members of the SLTU are invited. The SLTU Kaiso with Class competition will be held on Saturday, May 25th, 2019 at the National Cultural Center. The competition is in its 3rd phase and is open to all members of the SLTU. The SLTU Kaiso with Class Committee invites singers, writers, musicians, arrangers, stage managers, stagehands, and MCs to be a part of this event. All participants, except for writers and arrangers, must be members of the SLTU. Sponsors are also invited to partner with us in this exciting event. All interested persons are asked to contact the chairperson of the committee at ameda@babono.edu.lc or the SLTU office at 452-4469. The SLTU National General Meeting is scheduled to take place on Thursday, April 11, 2019. A venue will be announced at a later date. An invitation is extended to all members of the SLTU. Did you know that Article 8 of the Collective Agreement between the SLTU and the Government of St. Lucia states that 1. The employer agrees that the employee will enjoy equitable safeguards at each stage of any disciplinary procedure, and in particular, A. The right to be informed in writing of allegations and the grounds for them and copied to the union, provided the employee is a member of the SLTU. B. The right to full access to the evidence in the case. C. The right to defend himself and to be defended by a representative of his choice. D. Adequate time being given to the employee for the preparation of his defense. E. The right to be informed in writing of decisions reached and the reason for them. F. The right to appeal to clearly designated competent authorities or bodies. 2. The employer agrees to provide every employee with a letter of appointment. 3. The employer shall provide a definition of the work of employees. This work shall be set out in job descriptions. 4. The employer agrees that every employee covered by this agreement shall have the right to be a member of the St. Lucia Teachers Union and to participate in the lawful activities of the SLTU. 5. The employer agrees that no employee covered by this agreement shall be discriminated against in accordance with the provisions of the Equality of Opportunity and Treatment in Employment and Occupation Act, Chapter 16.14 of the Revised Laws of St. Lucia, 2001. 6. The employer agrees to assist the Teachers Union in providing services for the employees covered by this agreement.
At the St. Lucia Teachers Credit Cooperative, we know you're busy and we're always looking for innovative tools to enhance your banking experience. So we're introducing online banking, a service that goes with you wherever you are, and it's absolutely free. All you need is a cell phone or laptop. No more waiting on long lines to check your account balance or to update passbooks. With online banking, it's quick and easy. Just fill out a form, get your username and password, and access your account right away. With online banking, you can check your account balance, transfer funds, view and download your account history, create alerts for your account with emailed reports. One convenient service. Online banking with the St. Lucia Teachers Credit Cooperative. An educated choice.
Tonight's guest is a very accomplished educator. He has been an educator since 1993. But he is here as our second vice president. Welcome to SLTU Dialogue, Mr. Nestor.
Thank you, Ms. Medard, and it's a pleasure being here with you this evening.
Okay. You have been our second vice for almost a year now. Can you share with us the roles and responsibilities of a second vice?
Well, the fundamental role and responsibilities of the second vice president of the SLTU is generally to support and provide support for the executive. Is in terms of the first vice president and also the president, specifically in their absence, act as president, where even a vacancy may arise before any election may be called again. So one of the key responsibilities there is providing support, especially to the first vice and second vice president, and act as president in their absence for the SLTU. In addition to that, the role here is generally to also chair the Sports, Social and Cultural Committee. And one of the key things that persons may not know about the SLTU is that not only it is a bargaining agent and looking towards the working for the benefits and of persons' work conditions and also salaries, but we also look at the holistic individual. And that's where especially the social committee and sports committee comes in, where we're able to provide opportunities for teachers to engage meaningfully in exploring their talents and also showcasing those talents and so on, not only on a national scale but also a regional scale.
Okay, so I think we can look at it as more or less being a social, cultural sports officer. I know over the years SLTU has taken part in various sporting activities, various cultural activities. I know recently we had a Christmas, it was called the Christmas Fete, which is a social activity. Is it something that we do every year? Is it once in a lifetime kind of thing? What exactly is it?
Yes, you're quite right about what you said in terms of the Christmas party. This is just one of the entities, one of the activities that the Sports, Social and Cultural Committee, makes provision for members to engage meaningfully. And this year we had a slight tweak to the activity where we provided a little bit more elegance and so on. We looked at trying to link and create linkages with social partners in engaging brand managers and so on to also showcase their products within our festive activity. This event in particular, and this is what SLTU also uses as a mechanism in engaging even non-members of SLTU, where we provide opportunities for teachers who are not yet members to see that, listen, the SLTU is not only about the bargaining aspect for work conditions and salaries, but also provides other avenues for persons to engage meaningfully.
And I really want to stress upon that. You're making a very valid point. A lot of teachers, a lot of persons or the public, they see us as just negotiators, salary negotiators, and to go on strike. They think of us as teachers just waiting to go on strike. But the SLTU is not about protest action. The SLTU is not about going on strike. The SLTU, as you mentioned, is about developing teachers holistically and getting what is just, what is right for teachers. I was at that Christmas party and the turnout was extremely good. I think generally teachers had a good time. But we have other activities. I know we recently registered for the futsal tournament. I know this has not been the first tournament that we have registered for and we have taken part in. Can you share more light on this?
Well, especially in terms of the sports aspect of SLTU's engagement, we started off let's say the new school calendar year with our basketball team being part of the National Basketball League tournament, and we were able to make it through to the quarterfinals. The good thing about it is that we are engaging our teachers differently. In addition to that, we followed this up by organizing our zonal Teachers Week football tournament, where we engage 4 zones: the North, South, East, and West zones, and they compete until the weekend before the closure of Teachers Week.
Okay, take me through the process for that. How did the zonal tournament start? How did it end? How many games did they play? Just paint a picture of it for me.
With respect to the zonal tournament started off on the 21st of September, and we go through 8 games inclusive of the football finals. So
just to make it clear to our viewers, what exactly do you mean by zonal teams or zonal competition?
Okay, the zonal competition, for example, the teams in the north would include branches from the Grosley branch, the teachers from the Castries branch, teachers also from Safa, the Safa and the Babonneau branch. So they would form the northern grouping or northern zonal grouping. With respect to the south, you have school persons who are members of the Vifort branch, Mico branch. Persons from Labrie would form the southern zone. The western zone would include teachers from Choiseul, from Canaries, and also Soufrière and Ancillary. And for the eastern zone, you have Dennery and more part of Mico engaging in the zonal competition. So it is structured in a way where, again, we try to engage our teachers in different groupings. And at the end of the tournament, which it was held in La Ressource Dennery, which was, I think, one of the most successful that we had, largest crowd attendance and so on, where we engaged teachers quite a lot. Persons left with different prizes, thanks to some of the corporate sponsors who were able to make donations towards.
And who are these sponsors?
Prizes. We had sponsorship from the CEL as well as MNC group of companies as well. Okay. In addition to that, after the football finals, when it ended, the East team emerged victorious, and they actually have, it was a well-fought tournament, and I must say that the teachers were all excited about it. This was followed up by a party, a celebratory party and so on, which was hosted by the Dennery branch, and this was most successful. I think probably we had turnouts as much as probably 1,000 persons, if you may want to say that it was a successful event during that period of time.
So after that zonal football competition, I know we took part in the intercommercial, I think it was a corporate warfare futsal tournament. Did we win that tournament? What exactly happened during this tournament?
With respect to the futsal tournament, which we engaged in, the good thing about it that SLTU has had a few years of being very successful in this event. We have past champions of this tournament, and we came in there with great exuberance and wanting to showcase our dominance. The good thing about it, teachers always teach, and that's our profession at that. So the first aspect of this tournament was a knockout aspect, which SLTU became the first ever futsal knockout champions in 2018. This tournament was immediately followed on by a group stage tournament, which continued in. Unfortunately, we did not make it to the finals, and thankfully our sister organization, the SLTCC.
The St. Lucia Teachers
yes,
Credit Cooperative.
yes, they were able to become victorious, showcasing the talents of teachers.
But nonetheless, teachers won.
Teachers
anyway.
won, and that was the most exciting thing about it. That while one group might have been out, the other prevailed.
I remember watching the match between the Teachers Credit Union and the SLTU, and I know this was a hard-fought match. And the end result, it was a tie.
Yes.
We could not beat each other.
Yes.
Teachers stand together, always together. So
I-
this was one of the most exciting matches for me in that tournament.
Yes, I think it was probably one of not just the most exciting, but one which was filled with emotions because, you had persons who represented both organizations and persons actually came in with the blue and the yellow, just making sure that they're not trying to be biased towards
Yes.
support. And that's the nice thing about teachers and so on. We're able to engage as fair as possible. We fight hard. But at the end, I was, being the manager of the team, I was quite relieved that, we...
SLTC did not beat
yes.
SLTU.
And-
Actually tied. I was happy with that
Yes,
result
indeed,
as well.
indeed.
I
And
was
again,
extremely happy.
it was quite good in the sense that there were no bragging rights at the end, but fairness for teachers.
Okay. But we recently registered into another tournament, a futsal tournament. When is that tournament going to start?
Okay. This new tournament, which was supposed to commence on the 26th of January, this tournament, we've had some lags in terms of the facility at Bosiju. They've had a few issues with it. The information coming from the organizers is that the management team, they're looking into getting the facility up to par so that it could be utilized effectively. So hopefully, word should be coming out within the next week or so as to the readiness of the facility and the ability for the facility to host this new futsal tournament.
Okay. And we're asking all members of the SLTU, all teachers, whenever that date is set, to come out to support the SLTU futsal team. They have been performing exceedingly well. Last year they did very well, and this year we're anticipating that they'll perform even better. So let's put the past on the pause for now, and let's talk about the future. What are the plans in terms of sports culture for the future, SLTU's future?
Well, one of the mandates of the Sports Social Cultural Committee is to provide other opportunities other than what currently exist, because members now are placing greater demands on SLTU. Although the push to help organize and put these things together, it has not increased, but members are requesting for diversity. One of the key things we are trying to put in is to introduce cricket, and we are trying to bring in a new format, a T20 cricket tournament. And this tournament, we're looking at bowling of this new tournament from the 28th of February to the 3rd of March. And this here, we again having a structure with respect to the zonal tournaments, 4 zones, north, south, east, and west, and they will be taking part in this tournament. Part of this tournament will be to help provide a background for selection for a team in going to represent St. Lucia in Antigua from the 12th to the 17th of April in the Caribbean Union of Teachers Les Harris Cricket Tournament. And one of the things we want to bring out a very strong group of cricketers to represent St. Lucia. Thankfully, persons...
Represent the SLTU.
Yes, SLTU by extension. And one of the good things about it is that we'll be provided with some technical support from Alton Crafton and also John Eugene. We're also working with the St. Lucia Cricket Association and other entities. So we are seeking, additional support for, from a social aspect and so on, where we can make available or get public social partnerships, in helping our team represent St. Lucia and SLTU.
I think most teachers are already looking forward to that tournament. I know you have a lot to share. There is so much more, but we have not really even spoken about cultural aspects. I think we might have to leave that for a later date. But you have 1 more minute. I just want you to wrap it up, or anything else that you need to share.
With respect to my responsibilities, I just want to make mention to persons that, SLTU will be providing more opportunities. We will be looking at having a gospel concert later on in the year. We're looking at also organizing an awards program for our members as well. We want to make sure that persons are seen in different light. Netballers, females, we have not left you out. We are also going to be organizing something for our netballers as well. So we're looking at engaging females and males and encouraging persons to be a greater part of the union movement, because SLTU is not just the executive, but SLTU is all members.
All members. It's not about Julian Monroe's or Troy Nestor or Chantal Peter. It's about the teachers, financial members. So if you are not a member of SLTU, you are missing out on a lot of great opportunities. So you need to become a member. Mr. Nestor, it was really a pleasure speaking with you tonight. Thank you for coming.
Thanks so much for having me.
And here is our fun fact. Teachers know every single trick that a student can come up with. Sometimes, we deliberately allow them to think that we are fools. Thank you for watching SLTU Dialogue. See you next time. I am Alice Medard.